Patrick Shiels with you as Senator Debbie Stabenow decides not to seek re-election, so she'll be in office for a couple more years, and those 2 years will be full of speculation and fundraising and campaigning and MFing and all the rest of it that comes with joining the most exclusive club in the world, the United States Senate. John Sellek is the founder and CEO of the Michigan political consulting firm Harbor Strategic Public Affairs. And I've been putting it off because we've been giving the senator her due. But it's time, if you don't mind, to jump into the horse race here as to who might succeed Debbie Stabenow. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Should we just go through the names and give the John Sellek handicapping report as if you're a railbird over at Saratoga?
Sure. Why not? You know, politics, a little bit different than the corporate world. There are other places. Sometimes, you announce your retirement and everybody comes around and gives you a gift and there's a party and a long stretch out the door. And in politics, you retire in the morning and the vultures are at your desk by lunch, right? So here we are.
They'll all be seeking her endorsement, I imagine, and my guess is that she will probably not endorse a successor, other than that it be a Democrat.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. There's not a lot of reason for her to jump in. And frankly, I think part of the reason why it was easier for her to walk away is knowing that there's a pretty good likelihood that the Dems can keep it because they have the deepest bench they probably ever had. To fill the seat right now, watching C-SPAN or CNN or anything else, the GOP is kind of in disarray. So kind of a good time to retire. I heard some people say, she's 72. That might be a good time to retire. But even at 72, I think she's like a generation younger than half the U.S. Senate right now. So she didn't have to retire, but it's a good time.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell, I think, just became the longest-serving senator in history the other day. That's another matter. But how about, we'll begin. Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin, Democrat from Holly, Lansing, and all that district.
Yeah, at this point, I put her in the top tier for sure. She's battle-tested. She's won, a competitive district multiple times. She knows how to raise a lot of money. She's one of the best fundraisers in the state other than Governor Whitmer. And I have a feeling that we'll see her get in pretty soon.
Hey, by the way, there are some people who said that maybe Debbie Stabenow should have retired, allowing Governor Whitmer to select her replacement, thereby having an incumbent, and, in fact, that the governor could have appointed herself if she wanted to. What do you make of that?
Yeah, she could have done that, and that's been done many times in many other places. My guess is, in politics, as in life, timing is an important thing, and it's awkward timing for Governor Whitmer, besides the fact that she just got handed the keys to the kingdom, or she earned the keys to the kingdom, and why walk away now? And she could have done that. That crossed my mind as well, that Senator Stabenow could have retired. But, there may be a part also where Governor Whitmer doesn't want to have to pick and create half the party to be, her enemy on that front. So it's easier to kind of watch it play out. That's why I don't think it'll be interesting to see if Governor Whitmer also makes an endorsement or not, because I could see her kind of sitting that out just because of how deep the field is.
So we presume the governor's not interested in being a senator?
I don't presume that, Michael Patrick, but I think the timing and the situation she's in now is just as good or better as being in the Senate, and she still has a big future in front of her.
Most of us can presume also that Jocelyn Benson, the reelected Secretary of State, would like to be governor one day, or would she run for Senate? I guess you can do both, because if you don't win, you can come back and take another bite of the apple due to the timing, right?
Absolutely. Both Jocelyn Benson and Attorney General Dana Nessel have that inevitable position of being able to have kind of a free run at going for U.S. Senate. They could do that and still run for something else in 4 years because they can run while they're still holding their current office. And that's the other interesting wrinkle is a lot of people may have thought Debbie Stabenow was going to run for re-election, and so their focus for Jocelyn Benson or Dana Nessel might have been running for governor 4 years from now, and you just won an election, so you sit down, you try to take a deep breath and go on vacation, and then this happens, and you're like, oops, now what do I do? Do I run for the U.S. Senate instead? Do I run for both? If that's what happens, there's a lot of decisions to be made there, but I think the Secretary of State has shown she's very ambitious, she's politically astute, she's ran a complicated, well-funded campaign this time around. So I think her team is definitely sitting around trying to figure out if U.S. Senate is the move.
Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist.
I don't think he was talked about enough yesterday on most of the lists. I think that is one place where Governor Whitmer could actually put some pressure on and try to put him out there. And in particular, strange as it seems, she could talk a lot of people into just staying in their lane, get Alyssa Slacken to remain, America's most well-known 50-50 state member of Congress, and say, look, I have someone else here. It's Garland Gilchrist. It's time for there to be a black U.S. senator. He can do this, and no one else has to fight with each other. We can all get behind him. I could see that argument being made, and I could see that argument being made about Debbie Dingell as well. I saw her name get put out there yesterday. She could be somebody who's like, look, she's probably going to be in the Senate for one term. We don't have to have a divisive primary, and then everybody can plan to run for the Senate next time.
I wouldn't want to campaign against Debbie Dingell. And if there was somebody that Debbie Stabenow was going to endorse, it probably would be her, wouldn't it?
Well, there's every reason to believe the kind of relationships that Debbie Dingell builds, especially the ones that she's had over the long haul, there's a lot of loyalty there. There's a lot of respect there. It surprised me a little bit yesterday to hear her say that she was thinking about doing that. I think she does a fabulous job in what she's doing now. She has a role that no one else can match within the Democratic Party in Michigan. She's fearless, unstoppable. And those are the reasons exactly why also, like you said, that you wouldn't want to have to run against her, because it would not be an easy fight.
Congresswoman Haley Stevens, at the newer end of the coin, doesn't have the juice for this, does she?
She has the energy for it, that's for sure. And I bet
agreed there.
I bet her team sat down yesterday and thought about this. I mean, Michael Patrick, this was like a political earthquake that spawned a bazillion meetings across the state yesterday where people were like, wait a second. We can't just wait for the national championship game. We should run for Senate, or should we? And Haley Stevens is on that list. Washington will take her seriously as a candidate. She also is one of the best fundraisers in the state. She and Alyssa Slacken, since they first ran, took advantage of the Democrats' huge advantage.
Remember, it's not the money, it's the amount, as J.P. McCarthy used to say, John Sellek. Also, we hear the names of Karen McDonald, the Oakland County prosecutor, and State Senator Mallory McMorrow.
Starting route to top 10 state status. Proceed.